Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions. You are watching another episode of Speak Up, where we just cover different topics that I want to speak up on. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video and also subscribe to my channel. You can also leave your comments below. So, let's get into these topics, and I'm going to speak up on them. Okay. So our first topic of the day comes from The Hollywood Reporter, and we're speaking on Mr. Andy Cohen. Mr. Andy's contract has been renewed. For Watch What Happens Live has been renewed up until the year of 2027 with Bravo, and also with him personally, his contract has been renewed with NBC Universal that has extended his first look deal through 2028. And that means that Cohen will continue to host reunions and specials and serve as executive producer of the Real Housewives franchise. Now, many people have said that it's time for Andy to retire. He's not really in tune with the people, and it's just like, it's really boring with him and all that good stuff. Well, for the ones who commentated on that, he needs to be replaced and all that, NBC says that we good. At this point, my attitude towards Bravo and NBC Universal is, why are we investing so much into them when they're not, as far as people of color? Why are we still investing, getting mad and upset because this isn't happening, that ain't happening, when they're not invested in us? And why aren't we making our own? I will say that you guys need to just check out the Chasing reality series. They have their different franchises where they are chasing Atlanta, Dallas, Orlando, Los Angeles, and other shows. And I think you guys should give them a watch and support them. It's a YouTube series. Right now they are finishing up on the Chasing Dallas, currently in their season 6. So it's a person of color and his team. It deals with the queer-based audience and different ones that are trying to make it wherever they're at, as far as in Atlanta, but making their dreams come true. So that's one outlet, but there's so many other outlets that should be explored. And I mean, y'all dog out other people that I can name, like Carlos King. Has everything always been up to par? No. You have good seasons and you have bad seasons. Unfortunately, with Carlos, the fan base is terrible. And it kind of overshadowed his most important show, which was Love and Marriage Huntsville. Love and Marriage Huntsville did have its heyday. It's still going, and the OWN network, Discovery, all of them that are behind this show, they still like the show. And of course, there's been other franchises that branched off of there. Love and Marriage DC, Love and Marriage Detroit. Love and Marriage DC was kind of really hot, but so much, I will say this, a lot of the cast has ruined that show. I don't know if it's coming back or not. We shall see. But I know that they had been casting and all that good stuff, but I don't think that it's really done anything. Bell Collective is pretty good. I don't know what's going to happen with that show, because now it has to go through a mini revamp after a very controversial season last season. And y'all took off one very key person off that show and kept one that did not need to be. And I won't say that production or anyone at OWN took her off. She took herself off after all the BS that was taking place, unfortunately. Which that was Akeisha. And I love her to pieces. So, Love and Marriage Detroit to me is good. A lot of people don't like it because it's not scandalous. But you got people who are church folk that aren't going to do a lot of stuff for television. And it's okay. Anyways, and we got Family Empire Houston. Hopefully that's coming back for another season. I don't know if it's been renewed or not. With OWN shows, you just gotta catch if it's gonna be renewed or not. And that's all that we can say. There's other people that you can invest in, but y'all too busy putting all your golden eggs into Bravo. And again, Bravo does not care about you. But yeah, congratulations, Mr. Andy Cohen. Keep doing your thing, despite what people want to talk about you. All right, so our next topic is Power. We're going to talk about the franchise and its expansion on the Starz Network. So right now, there is talk of 2 different shows that are in development. One has been in development for about a year, which is called Power Origins, and another one possibly entitled Power Legacy. Gary Lennon and Kendra Chapman, who executive produce and are the showrunners for Power Force. That one is over. The main character is Tommy. Tommy, whom originated off of the original Power series that ran for 6 seasons. He was matched with Ghost. They were 2 individuals that grew up in the streets and made their living by selling drugs. Of course, they got older. Tommy was always this off his rocker type of character, but Ghost was trying to be legit and still ponder in the whole drug business. But anyways, they're looking to bring forth Power Legacy as a possible title, and it would be based upon or focused around the character Tommy, and then also the character Tariq, played by Michael Rain Jr. Joseph Secor is Tommy, but it would be linking up Tommy and Tariq, which we saw at the end of Power Book 2 Ghost, that it looked like there was going to be some type of link up. So they left that out there, but that's in development. And while stuff is in development, that means that it hasn't been pitched to the network, and neither has the network signed off on at least ordering a season of this particular series. So I'm down for that type of series, and also for Power Origins. Power Origins, which I already said has been in development for the last year, it's going to follow the early years of the beloved duo of Ghost and Tommy. Of course, they were some of the leads on the original Power series, and I would really be interesting to find out the prequel of their story. And it's going to pick up around the time that, I guess, when they were involved with Kanan, which Raising Kanan is one of my favorite shows. I love it, and they are ending next season also. So that'll be cool. Sasha Penn, who serves as showrunner for Ghost and also Raising Kanan, is also over the development of Power Origins. So we shall see if any of these shows get picked up. My fingers are crossed for something to happen. But you guys can tell me what you think as far as with Power Origins and Power Legacy. Would you like to see it expand? And do you like the concept of what's going to be happening with the Power shows and all that good stuff? Let me know. All right, so for more of a serious moment, some of this news is from a couple weeks ago, but I never talked on it or spoke up about it, but want to as of now. We're going to entitle this Health News. I was going to say something like Cancer Space or something like that, but I didn't want to do that. We're going to speak on Miss Monyetta Shaw. She was a featured friend that was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta seasons, 14 and 15? Definitely 15. She was an official friend. Monyetta, this is featured in People magazine, and the last thing I was talking about was in Deadline.com for the Power series thing. But anyway, she was diagnosed with stage 1 invasive ductal carcinoma, which there was a lump in her breast. This happened in November of 2024. By January, she had a lumpectomy in January of this year, and then also she had completed all of her radiation as of May 2nd of this year, and she has been diagnosed to be cancer-free. So congratulations to Ms. Monyetta Shaw. She's also the ex-fiance of R&B singer, pop star, Neo. They have 2 children together. They moved on. She has married and found the love of her life and all that good stuff. So I'm glad for long life for her. Congratulations. And we're going to stick with the Real Housewives of Atlanta with Mr. Dwight Eubanks. Now, we know Dwight was in the earlier seasons, especially seasons 1 through 3. I think even 4 he was on heavily. By 5 or whatever, things have moved on or whatever. So, and I like to say that he was one of the first ones to help birth out the show. Y'all say it was all on Nene's back. No, she was the breakout star. And I'm not going to is it declassify, or I'm not going to act like Nene didn't bring anything to the show. Does she deserve high accolades? Yes. It was an ensemble show. Nene couldn't have done what she done without the other supporting players. So he was one of the featured friends, well, basically unofficial friends. I think he should have been getting a check, but none of them did. They were just, I'm going to try not to be negative, but basically they were accessories to the housewives. And they should have been getting a check. Anyways, Dwight, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And this was diagnosed of January 2025. I did read more of the article. This is also featured in People magazine. He says that it could have been caught. And Dwight, did I say Eubanks? I don't know if I did, but Dwight Eubanks is his full name. We just call him Dwight. He says that it could have been caught earlier, and we'll get into that in a few minutes because of what the doctors missed, even when they went back to old medical records. But stick with me. He talks about in his bloodline, his grandfather had prostate cancer also, and he had kept it from the family, and ended up passing away because he didn't take care of himself. Especially our older generation, y'all got to keep up on them because a lot of them don't believe in going to the doctor. A lot of them don't have trust in a doctor. I can say that just to make it fair as to how some of them do treat going to the hospital or not. They don't respect them. And a lot of doctors don't treat people of color with the great amount of care. And a lot of times you're forced to go to people that don't care at all. It's just what you can afford, and a lot of times it's not what you need. But anyways, he kept it a secret for not 30 years, but he kept it a secret and allowed his life when he possibly could have gotten help. But I think because of what was said is that he thought he was cool and okay, is because this happened on his mother's side. It didn't go into details, but it seems like if it was on the mother's side, then he didn't really have a big chance on getting it. And I guess it's supposed to come from his father's side. I don't know. I'll have to research that to see exactly how that does play into if it's passed down from generation to generation. How Dwight found out about this, his church that he was currently at was hosting a health fair, and he got some blood work done while there. The lab test came back in, and the doctors wanted to see him immediately to tell him that he had cancer. So, did you know that within men, prostate cancer can be diagnosed within every 1 in 8 men? Let's say there's 8 men in a circle. One of them will be diagnosed with cancer. Prostate cancer is the second most common cancer among men. Amongst the black and African men, 1 in 6 are diagnosed with prostate cancer. And black people are twice as likely to be unalived from prostate cancer. It's crazy. Now, I did not know this. He may have said something on the show, but I don't remember. But he actually has been living with HIV since the 80s. And he went back to past medical records to see if there was just something that was saying something. But whomever his doctor that was treating him for HIV, now he's undetected and all that good stuff, thank God. But they were seeing that his PSA levels were high, but it was never brought up to Dwight. It's just like they focused in on the HIV, making sure that he was okay. And this was back in 2022. It's like, and that's the part where he said it could have been caught a lot sooner. So that's another, 2 to 3 years that Dwight didn't know anything that was going on in his body because the doctor wasn't that aware. But you can go to the mechanic to get an oil change, and the next thing you know, I noticed this about you. You see how that happens sometimes? So I'm thanking God that he did catch it, and he says right now he's still working with the doctors to come up with a plan because he does not want to remove his prostate. He had a friend and saw how he suffered through it, and I guess removed his prostate. That's what I'm assuming. And he doesn't want to go through that same type of experience. So he's just trying to figure it out. So my prayers are with you, Dwight. Also, my prayers are with Mangetta. I pray that it does not come back in Jesus' name. And also to Dwight, a total recovery and a total healing for your body in Jesus' name. Now, my last health news is reporting someone has transitioned from this life, and that is Ananda Lewis. Ananda Lewis was so popular within the late 90s and into the 2000s. We first know her from, one second. We know her from Teen Summit. I was about to say BET Summit. That's why I said, wait a minute. No, Teen Summit. Yeah. Even though I wasn't really supposed to be watching that much BET, I could really only watch the gospel stuff, which was Bobby Jones, which we'll be talking about in a few minutes, and Bishop G.E. Patterson. But that was it, that I could really watch on there. I think there was some type of television shows that were coming on back when I was younger, but I got to watch that. But all the music and stuff, nope. But anyways, Ananda, I'm trying to think of a different word. Transition. I'll just stay with transition. She transitioned on June 11th, which was earlier this week. Born March 21st, 1973. Stephanie Alam, who also worked with Ananda on Teen Summit back in the day, she remained close with Ananda, and She currently works on CNN. This is from CNN.com by writer Jay Stahl. But Stephanie says that while she was doing a show, she looked down at one of her messages of the text from Ananda's big sister, and she knew right then and there that Ananda had passed away. Stephanie does say that one thing that she wanted to make clear to everyone is that Ananda made peace with the decision with the breast cancer. She had stage 3 breast cancer. They were told that she had months to live, and then it decreased to days to even hours. So it was rapidly attacking her body. And then eventually she did transition, which was June 11th. So my prayers out to the Lewis family and to the family and friends. She was someone who was monumental and an icon to the Black community and to other communities also, and her voice will be missed. And she made great impact. Now, on to our next story, which has to deal with the law, more with the court systems. Russell Simmons, he's suing HBO and the filmmakers over a documentary. What am I doing? I'm not talking right. Sorry, y'all. A documentary detailing the alleged SA, or I wish there was a word that I could say. Trigger warning to anyone that has been abused sexually. I think I'll be okay with that. He's claiming that it's a defamation, and he's suing for $20 million. So the HBO documentary featured testimonies of several women who claimed that they were assaulted sexually by Simmons in the 80s and the 90s. Simmons says that HBO disregarded and or suppressed information provided by his representatives that could counter what was going on between him and the individuals and all that good stuff. We're finding out that this suit is coming after the statute of limitations for defamation in New York. So you really don't have a leg to stand on. Is that what? So you're just gonna waste people's time and hopefully to get some type of settlement. Bye. HBO's parent company, which is Warner Brothers Discovery, dismisses the lawsuit's allegations against them as unfounded. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. They got the information from the people, but obviously he's saying that he should have had his say. I don't understand how that's defamation. I really don't. They say that they dispute Mr. Simmons' allegations and stand by the filmmakers in the process and vigorously defend ourselves against these unfounded allegations. Now, Russell Simmons has teamed up with lawyers that are servicing Diddy and Chris Brown. Diddy and Chris Brown have their own lawsuits with HBO with their documentaries against them both respectively because of the allegations against them. I'm sorry, but Chris Brown, I think you should just hang it up. Hang it up. We know about you. No matter how much you sound good, no matter how much you sound or you look on stage, sir, there's another part of you that is screaming loud at how you disrespect people. You right now have a case overseas over domestic violence against this man. Diddy, you currently on trial. You're saying it's defamation. Okay. I think that these lawyers are just taking these folks' money, and that's just that. Y'all can go in debt and all that. Russell Simmons, I don't really know about you because you did a lot of things that made yourself look guilty. And I think he was found not guilty or something, I think, or whatever, and that's why he's suing these folks for defamation. So don't quote me on that, but it's just like, okay, I don't understand what you're doing. I mean, you fled the country to try to avoid these charges. Your daughters don't even like you. I'm not saying that that's about concerning your abuse, but you try to act like your reputation is squeaky clean, and it's not. On the record, okay, so the film was received well first with Sundance Films. I think this was back in, 2022 or so, I think. There was a deal made with Oprah and Apple TV Plus that was supposed to air everything, and then at the last minute, Oprah dropped out of the dealings because there were inconsistencies. She says, despite all of that, she said that she stands with the women and I support women. And that's how the documentary made it onto HBO. Yeah, Russell, I mean, let's see if this actually works for you, but I think that you are just ego broken and you think that you're going to regain some credibility, and I think it's just not going to work in your favor. Y'all can tell me in the comments what y'all think about that. Never mind. We got some more. I forgot about this. February 2024. Simmons is sued by an anonymous former executive at Def Jam Records. They're accusing him of RAPE and sexual harassment. This has disrupted and derailed her career in regards to the assaults. In 2023, he reached a confidential settlement with 3 of the women, including a documentary participant, Silai Abrams, who alleges that they were RAPE in 1994. More than 20 women have accused him of assault sexually. So, y'all think that everybody's lying on him? I mean, a new allegation, and you settled it, and we can't even know if you're so not guilty, even if we don't even know, you can't even let us in on the settlement. There's an NDA in place to make these people go away. Y'all getting them comments? Okay, so our last topic is for Mr. Kirk Franklin, Gorilla, and more than anything is Detrick Haddon. The BET Awards, they did air on Sunday or Monday night. Was it June 9th or so? There is a specific category, which is the Bobby Jones whatever type award. I forgot the full name of it. And different people are nominated for whatever have had high accolades for a record. Gorilla ended up winning. Gorilla released an album last year in 2024 that featured a gospel song. I knew that Kirk Franklin was featured on it. I didn't know anyone else. I just remember it in talk. However, because of how successful it is, she won. After the awards, Detrick got on Instagram, I believe, and made a clip on how he felt and thinks that the gospel needs a reset because of the biasness and the gatekeeping that's happening with accolades and awards. So take a look at this clip.
The gospel music industry needs an overhaul, period. After last night's show, it's an indicator that we just need a complete reset. Like what are we doing? Are we allowing this to happen over and over again and wonder why the gospel music industry is dying? Come on, man. In order to have something different, you have to do something different. So we need people in the room that know gospel music, that's in the trenches of gospel music, that's advocating for the genre as a whole and not one particular person. It's already a small genre. So it's hard for us to watch the Dr. Bobby Jones Gospel Award being given to somebody that's not in our space, right? No disrespect to the artist, but that's not the space she's in. And so it makes it discouraging, disappointing, and it takes the wind out of all of it. And we wonder why gospel music is dying. It's because we're doing things like that. Well, on top of that is, we're tired. Nobody will say this, but I will. Of seeing the same people being celebrated year after year. Like there is nobody else in gospel music. Like no one else is working. You cannot just give it to one person as if they're the ones that's keeping it going. No. We're done with that. Last night was a great win for the ratings for BET. I give certain people awards for ratings, but it was not a win for the gospel music industry. We got to do better. So I propose let's start something where we can come together and have someone advocating for the genre that have no other motive and agenda in the room, but to elevate the gospel music genre as a whole. That's what I feel.
Okay, so my initial thoughts, because I really didn't go study anything or whatever. I thought it was unfair for a secular artist, secular is a term that's used in the church world, to win a gospel award. I agreed with him on that. And then I thought, well, Detrick, what have you been doing lately? To be fair to Detrick, I have not really stayed up on gospel. I don't even know that much is trending. If it's not trending on social media, I'm not really in tune with it, and it's not that much that I'm really in tune, because I have like 2 favorite artists that I may just keep up with or just know that they're releasing something, and I'm just keen on to that. So come to find out, I think I know why Gorilla won this record. The record's entitled Rain on Me. I hadn't heard of it. I mean, I heard that she was doing something. I just never heard the song. I never saw it trending. So I'm like, okay. Rain Down on Me. When it was released off of her album, which I guess became a single, it debuted at the top of the Billboard's Hot Gospel Song chart. It was number 2 on the multi-metric Hot Christian Songs chart. During its first week, it received 3.7 million official U.S. streams. I said, wow, reaching number 1 on the gospel streaming songs. It debuted number 5 on the Billboard 200s. Billboard has this thing of having Billboard 200s as far as songs all over, whatever it is, and then also 100. It's quite an accomplishment to get up to number 5 on the Billboard 200s. And this is outside of the Billboard Gospels. And it has sold 69,000 equivalent album units, which is 13,000 pure sales. So, Rain Down on Me has a lot of bragging rights. It did a lot on that album. I don't even know if she performed it anywhere else. I think she did do something on the BET Awards, but regardless, I think I know why. As I said, she won that award. But, and this comes from RTT News. What I will say is, and Grape Juice Net, but I will say in regards to Detrick Haddon, I didn't even know he put out new music. I am a fan of his since growing up and all that. Love him down. But he also had a single that came out last year called Never Be the Same. And he got a number 1 spot on the billboards and media base. And he was number 1 for 2 consecutive weeks. I think this was Billboard's Gospel, I think. Not for certain because it didn't really say. But it's just like he ended up getting an award for being at number 1 for 2 consecutive weeks. Now take a look at this clip.
Hey people, I'm excited because something special just came in the mail. And I've already opened the box. I have my assistant here. I'm super excited about it. Okay. Hold the box, Denver. Hold it down. You got it, Denver?
Yes.
Okay, you can take the box. Thank you, assistant. Miss Vanna Black. Thank you to all of the radio announcers who supported my song, Never Be the Same. You made it number 1 for 2 consecutive weeks. So thank you. Also, shout out to my partner and manager, Al Wash, who made it happen. He's still with me on this entire project, on this song. This is mine and his. Also, I want to thank Snoopy, the best radio promoter ever in the business. She made sure she stuck with it. And she said, D, I'm going to get you this number 1. And when Snoopy tell you she's going to get you a number 1, she's going to get you a number 1. Thank you, Snoopy. Thank you to all my production team, Marcus Hodge, all the background singers, everybody. You know who you are. All the musicians. Thank you so much. Number 1. This is very special to me because this was done on my own label. My own record label. Number 1, DH Visions. We're going at it again with the Chainbreaker 2.5. Going for that number 1 again. It's climbing up the charts really fast. Thank you for your support in advance. And God bless you. I love y'all.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, go ahead. While I was just researching, I did listen to Rain Down on Me. It features Kirk Franklin, Kiara Sheard, the Mavericks, where you at? Lord. The Mavericks City Music Choir. And also Chandler Moore. I do know who Chandler Moore is, especially in my Facebook. I don't think in my MySpace days, but anyways. But in my Facebook years, I'm not on there anymore. But anyways, I know who he is. So I'm glad he is really climbing the ranks as far as in the gospel arena. So I think having all of these people who do trend a lot, who are popular, helped really get her win. And also on the record, Gorilla is a writer, accredited writer, Kiara, Chandler, and Kirk. I mean, they all put their foot into that record. To single out Glorilla, that's how I feel about it, I think it's wrong. But we'll get into that in just a second. As I do think that Detrick has a point, I think he has some bragging rights. He did have an accomplishment, and I think at least he should have been nominated with that Bobby Jones Award. I think it. The nominees that were in this category this year was Common, Pete Rock, featuring Jennifer Hudson. I didn't know they had an inspirational gospel song out there. Pastor Mike Jr., somebody named Friday, Yolanda Adams featuring Sir the Baptist and Donald Lawrence, And I do know about Yolanda Adams' song because I've seen her music video. I think it's Open the Doors or something like that. Jordan Sparks and Tamla Mann, they were all in that category as nominees. BET, they have a voting academy that consists of 500 entertainment professionals and influencers within the music industry. So it's like, we really don't know who's a part of that. Now, as I'm seeing with the Grammys, a lot of people can buy their way to be on the voting academy. When we got Jason Lee, there's some different requirements as to why Jason Lee got on there, as to why he's even a voting member with the Academy, with the, not the Academy Awards, with the Grammys and all that. But it's just like, you see his biasness and he gets to be a voter. I don't know who made that decision to let him do that, but whatever. Yeah, it's just like, I can't say that Detrick doesn't have a point. However, I do feel like you singled out Gorilla because you know Gorilla to be a secular artist, but so many of your colleagues were featured on there. I think this is the first time that Kiara Shear has went #1. So that's an accomplishment for her. You do feel like there's a lot of gatekeeping. Since knowing that you did have this record out here and had some accolades, I can agree with you to a certain extent, because before I was saying, what is Detrick doing these days? I haven't heard anything from him, you know? So would it be great to mix people around? Yeah. I think that the Kirk Franklins and the Tamla Manns, they are out there and they're seen and they're visible and all that good stuff. I did feel like, well, it's BET. Who really cares? BET doesn't have a legacy with gospel music, but it has died out, and I don't really pay much attention to it. We used to have Celebration of Gospel. Where's that at? I don't like that. So, you know, do I think Detrick has a point? Yes. Do I also feel like calling out, I guess using Gorilla as a collateral damage in all of this, to me, is not right. Should things change? Yeah. I remember when Detrick did have access. He was out here intermingling and crossing over and all that. Then he divorced his wife, and his spiritual parents, which are his real parents also, sat him down for a while. And he couldn't do nothing. He got remarried, had some children and all that good stuff. But it's, I think it can, after really understanding where he's coming from and seeing that he's still out here doing stuff, I can see that. I mean, Hezekiah Walker could have did something with the choir stuff. Ricky Dillard, which he's more out there than Hezekiah, you know. Ricky Dillard would be chosen over Hezekiah Walker if we're gatekeeping and all that. So I understand it. I think that I do get where he's coming from. I just don't think that we can knock what Gorilla has done with this song. And I've heard both songs, and I actually like both songs from you guys. So cool. I'm glad for the accomplishments, but at the very least, BET, you should have nominated him. Does gospel music need a reset? Yeah, in many ways. I don't listen to much stuff current. If it's something I hear and I like it, like Erica Campbell's song, I feel alright, I feel alright. I like that song. There's not many more that I really listen to currently stuff. Kiara has a song, Rain on Me, currently that's doing very well. It's trending and all that good stuff. So hey, but y'all can give me your thoughts on the whole deal. Some people feel like you need to concentrate on the ministry part. Yes, but ministry is there's a business side to it, and there's also the spiritual side to it. Church, there's a business side to it and a ministry side to it. No matter how y'all want to think about it, you can track it down to back to the Jesus days in the Bible. So let's not be foolish and just acting like everything is just so soul driven. Ultimately, that's where it all is, but there is a business side to it. Let me know your thoughts on this edition of Speak Up and on this particular topic. I apologize for my little blips, but we're gonna get it all together and we're gonna be all right. But I appreciate everyone for coming to this channel. Like this video, subscribe, and again, leave your comments. And until the next one, peace.